11th Hour, an audio drama by Patricia Asedegbega.
Episode 4.
Helen walked into Chris's outer office. Amaka, his secretary, was on the phone. Helen signaled that she was going in, and the other woman held out her hand for her to stop. A few moments later, the secretary ended the call.
Good morning, madam. Mr. Jacobs is in a meeting. I don't think he mentioned that you would be dropping by.
I wasn't aware that I had to book an appointment with you in order to see my fiancé. At what time do you suppose this meeting will be over?
I can't tell, madam. If you'd like to come back.
Or, here's the thought. I'm here already, so I'll wait. Thanks for your consideration. What are you up to?
Morning to you too. Okay? I'm at the office. Going over some paperwork for a new project I have to sign and deliver.
Alone?
Chris, who's on that line? Let the person call back. We have a lot to discuss.
Amaka, if you don't get out of my way this second, I'll make such a racket that your boss will be forced to emerge, and believe me, I will be revealing the very rude receptions that I've been getting from you. Oh, don't look so surprised. The fact that I haven't said anything till now doesn't mean that your glares and curt answers have gone unnoticed. Now, Amaka, what will it be?
The woman moved away from the door, and Helen walked in. Chris was standing next to the huge window in his office, looking through it. There was a woman standing close to him. At the sound of the door opening, they both turned around to look at her. Chris frowned, and Helen smiled, taking a seat on one of the sofas in the large room.
Chris, do introduce me to your guest.
Helen, I wasn't expecting you, but of course. You're always welcome. This is Bettina. Bettina, this is Helen, my fiancée.
Ah, the famous Bettina. You know, luckily for you both, this scene before me is the least of my worries. And the fact that I'm not someone prone to scenes. Otherwise, anyone who walked in would naturally assume that something improper is going on here. And would have a right to make a big deal about it. Bettina, to what do we owe you, once again? Appearing here 3 weeks before our wedding.
Helen asked as Chris looked at her in surprise.
Well, as I'm sure that you are well aware, Chris and I have a lot of history together and unfinished business to deal with. I don't think that...
I have no interest in your shared past. Yeah. If you have anything to discuss, you can send an email. I'm sure you have his address. Now, if you'd leave quietly without making a fuss.
Bettina looked at Chris, who gestured to the door. With a hiss, Bettina walked out of the room.
Something's up with you.
Chris, why did Bettina and you break up?
Oh my gosh, are we back to that again? Surely you can't possibly think that something strange is going on with Bettina. Bettina, she stopped by unannounced. That's all.
That's not an answer to my question.
You know, I'm not going to give an answer to that. It's all over and done with. A past I don't want to revisit.
I see. I don't seem to deserve answers to issues that are important. Chris, don't expect me for dinner at your house. Don't wait for me at the altar either. You can have this back. I won't marry you. Whatever you're searching for, it's not me. I'm done. I'm done with secrets and lies. I want more out of marriage. And evidently, you seem unable to provide it. I'll send my parents a message so they know not to go over to yours.
Helen took off her engagement ring and left it on the table. From Chris's expression, she could tell that it wasn't how he had expected the visit to end. He took a step towards her, but she rushed out of the room. Helen heard him call her name, but she kept on running, getting into the lift just before the doors closed. The elevator ride down the 7 floors of Chris's company building was the longest one Helen had ever been in. Once inside her car, a shaking Helen took out her phone. There were various missed calls from Chris. She started typing a message.
Your dinner tonight won't be holding. I'll let you know the future plans shortly.
Helen sent the message to her father and stepmother.
There's no way that I'll explain this today. Tomorrow will be another day. I've already gone too much out of my comfort zone, and the day isn't even over yet.
Helen looked through the rear-view mirror. The traveling bag was right where she left it. It was inviting her to start the car and drive off. Helen tried to start the car once again, but her hands were still trembling, so she decided to wait a bit more. A sound from her phone indicated an incoming message. Helen ignored it as her lips moved in prayer. It was the only thing she felt like doing at the moment. Helen opened the door located at the end of the shop, turned on the light, and locked the door behind her. Helen sighed as she looked at the mannequin before her. On it was her wedding gown. Except for a few minor details, she had finally finished it the previous week. No one had seen it yet. Helen ran her hand over the sleeve.
And no one will see you. It's such a pity. I put so much work and illusion into you. Am I making a mistake? Did I close this chapter because it's easier for me? No. It would be much easier to simply be quiet and do as expected. I worked so much on you, my masterpiece. No, I can't destroy you. I'll keep you until I find the right person to wear you.
Helen stood transfixed, looking at her work. A sound from the outer room brought her back to the present. She had not left the outer door to the shop open. Helen came out of the room, locking the door again. Once she was in sight of the huge glass door, Helen saw that Agnes and Gladys were banging at the door, and she hurried to open it for them.
Why do you own a phone? We've been out here for 10 minutes, and we've been calling and calling. Your car is outside, so we knew you were here. I hope there's something cold in that fridge of yours. You've kept us under the sun for far too long.
Helen frowned. Surely she had only been inside her inner workshop for only a couple of minutes. It couldn't have been that long. Her friends each took out a cold bottle from her fridge and sat down. Agnes picked up a magazine and started fanning herself, and Gladys, after gulping almost half the content of her bottle, turned her attention to Helen and pointed at Helen's hands.
Where's your ring?
I gave it back. Both of you are the first people to know. Chris and I are officially over.
What? Agnes, I warned you to stop encouraging her, didn't I? No, answer me. Didn't I? Now, less than 3 weeks before the wedding, Helen has listened to those crazy thoughts in her mind. See, Helen, you don't seem to live in reality. You're waiting for this perfect scenario in which you become the sun that lights up a man's world. It doesn't work that way. You think people don't compromise? So you found out that Chris isn't as crazy about you as you imagined, and big deal. You make him love you after the marriage. You know what? Where's your phone? Call him right now and tell him that you were hit by a car, just maybe you had an accident or something before you spoke to him. And we're very, very confused.
Helen, I have to admit that breaking things off does sound extreme. Everything is ready. People are counting down for the wedding of the year. Have you thought this through? Did you speak to Chris?
Helen was about to speak when Gladys, whose breathing seemed back to normal, got up and interjected.
There you go again. There you go again, Agnes. Instead of helping me look for her phone, you are asking her if she's thought this through. Are you in the same bridal train like me? How much did your dress and your shoe cost? I mean, if Chris was a serial killer, I would support you. But he's the dream man of every woman. Mm-hmm. The Jacobs practically own the transport services in Africa. Alex's family runs the air, and Chris's transport on land. You have no idea what you're about to lose, Helen. You really don't. Helen, you know what? Get your keys. A phone call won't undo what you did. This situation requires a face-to-face discussion.
Gladys, you forget that I made the outfits for the bridal train. All you did was make payments for the fabrics. But thank you once again for putting me first. I don't care how much money the Jacobs have. Don't you get it? I really don't care. I spoke to Chris. I hadn't noticed before now just how little I know about his past. He refused to give me an answer. I went to his office today and his secretary was acting all funny. So I barged in. Chris and Bettina were in his office.
Mm-hmm. Doing what?
Talking. I heard her say that he hadn't given her an answer. She acted all proprietary around him. When she left, I again asked Chris, why did they break up? That question was met with another refusal. So I left his ring and stormed out. Let me make my position clear to both of you. In the past, I have been the girlfriend that was cheated on, and I have knowingly and unknowingly been the other woman. I will not be the wife that accepts being her husband's consolation prize. Now that we're clear on this, help me think of creative ways to break the news to my parents.
Her two friends looked at each other and then at Helen. There was a silence.
Helen, I agree with your decision. I understand how you feel. I've watched my mother over the years fight my father for his numerous infidelities. It's a house devoid of peace and I don't wish that on anyone. Today is Monday. Let's try and find out from now till Saturday why those two ended and why Bettina is back. At least, when you look back at the events that occurred, you'll be certain that you made the right decision. Just send a message to Chris and tell him that you'll talk to him on Saturday, that you need some time.
Helen felt her phone in the pocket of her Ankara dungarees vibrate. She had been ignoring it. Taking it out, she saw that Chris was calling. She looked up at her friends who were staring at her.
Decisions. What will Helen do? Subscribe to Patricia Asedegbega's YouTube channel and find out in the radio drama, The 11th Hour. You wouldn't want to miss a single episode. Trust me. Thank you for listening. Helen and Co. will be back very soon with the rest of their story. Hey, don't go anywhere. Not without subscribing, liking, hitting the bell button for notification, and leaving a comment, my people.